Let's talk about the word selfless for a moment. Concerned more with the needs and wishes of others than with one's own. Selfless, meaning less self. Why is this admirable? Others before you always. Why should we cast ourselves aside? Selfless is one of the most over-glorified words in the English language. Well, we're taking selfless off the pedestal that it's been placed on. Now let's look at the opposite term, selfish. Selfish is being concerned excessively or exclusively with oneself and seeking or concentrating on one's own advantage, pleasure, or well-being without regard for others. Selfish is widely heralded a negative term, but only because it pairs focusing on yourself with disregarding others. Why must they go hand in hand? Why isn't there an adjective that describes someone who takes care of themselves so that they may take care of others? Let's flip the script and look at being selfish as a positive, healthy, and necessary trait. It is necessary to focus on yourself, to want things for yourself, to prioritize yourself. If you don't, who will? How can you fulfill your purpose if you're constantly putting others ahead of your own needs and wants? In fact, let's change the word selfish up to what it really is and call it self-full. Because this is about you, and only you can define your purpose. We've defined self-full as taking care of one's own needs, wishes, and well-being in order to better support the growth of others. Advantage, pleasure, all those things. Now, in order to get really self-full and define your purpose, it's important to understand several things. One, there is a difference between purpose and goals. Two, you can and should have multiple purposes. And three, purpose evolves. Often when faced with the purpose question, the first answer we come up with isn't a purpose at all. It's a goal. Don't get it twisted. Goals and purpose are two very different things. So it's important to understand the difference between the two. Purpose is the bigger word. Purpose is personal and is who you are. In business terms, purpose is all about your mission. Every person, team, and organization needs a reason for being. When we lack purpose, we don't know what we're doing, let alone why we're doing it. The answer to the purpose question will drive your personal choices and decisions. Now, a goal is something we strive for that should be aligned with our purpose. Reaching our goal will help us accomplish our purpose. Goals are meant to do that. They're meant to serve our purpose. Our purpose does not serve our goals. It helps us create them. When you are rock solid in your purpose, you can focus on the right things and get where you want to go. So, let's talk through some examples so you can get used to the differentiation between the two. Goal, become $1 million rep. Purpose, prove to my parents that this career choice is worth something greater. Goal, lose 15 pounds. Purpose, feel confident in my own skin. Goal, 2-week trip to South Africa. Purpose, immerse myself in an unknown part of the world and become more cultured. Goal, become a customer development director. Purpose, provide a comfortable, affluent life for my spouse and kids, and to create that same opportunity for others. Now, you may have noticed that these examples are all over the map, especially the last one, which had 2 purposes. This is purposeful. Get it? As human beings, we have this theory that our purpose is meant to be singular, that we're meant to do one thing and one thing only. But how realistic is that? No one should live a singularly focused life. There is too much out there to strive for and desire to fill up your life and your days with. You can have multiple purposes, and they can be of all shapes and sizes. Big purposes, small purposes, you can and should have multiple drivers. This can be overwhelming and distracting, which is why it's important to recognize that they fall into different categories. The things that drive us will always serve one of two buckets: yourself or others. If your purpose is to provide a comfortable, affluent life for your family, others. Immerse yourself in unknown cultures, yourself. Feel confident in your appearance, yourself. Make your parents proud, others. It can become a tricky balancing act, but only if you focus too heavily on one bucket and ignore the other. So first, let's talk about yourself. When thinking about your purpose buckets, the most important bucket that should always be full is your own. Now, I want you all to take a moment and imagine your ideal self, the you that you'd be the most proud of. Who are you? How do you operate? What do you do? How do you make people feel? How do you feel about yourself? Who are you to others? How do you feel when you look in the mirror? Who is the me I want to be? Each of us has had an ideal vision of themselves that they strive for. But what gets in the way of becoming this mystical, magical version of yourself? For many of us, we focus our energy and attention on things and people other than ourselves. This is where the self-full concept really comes in handy. If you want to become the best version of yourself or your ideal you, you must always be doing things that serve that higher purpose. When you know who you want to be, it becomes quite easy to analyze your choices, habits, routines, actions, and words to find out if they're contributing to or detracting from that person that you want to be. It sounds cheesy, but you can literally be whoever you want to be.